Welcome back to another video. If this is your first time here and you love Raiders content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now let's get into today's topic because there's a lot to talk about. Some interesting reports, some fun ones, and of course, I'll share my thoughts. But I also want to hear what you think in the comments. First up, let's talk about Davante Adams. Remember when we thought he'd be a Raider for life? Well, last season, we traded him to the New York Jets for a conditional third-round pick. And now, breaking news from Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, the Jets have released him. Wait, does this mean the Raiders actually won a trade? We fleeced the Jets. Davante left because he was frustrated and wanted a better situation, but let's be real. That didn't exactly work out. The Jets went 5-12, and just months later, he's already gone. Now he's back on the market looking for a new team in free agency. What do you guys think? Did the Raiders make the right move? Let me know in the comments. I just had to bring this up because honestly, it's pretty funny. At least we got something for Davante Adams, and looking back, a third-round pick isn't too bad. Now, I just hope the Raiders use that pick wisely, maybe even find his replacement. Imagine getting a receiver who could actually stick with the team for years to come. But since we're on the topic of trades, let's talk about another big rumor. This one involves tight end Michael Mayer. I've talked about it before, but we've got some new updates. According to Vinny B, the Raiders are actively shopping Mayer, and plenty of NFL teams are interested. I've seen all the debates online. How much can we get for him? Some say we could land a fourth-round pick, which, honestly, isn't much. I'd love to see a better return, but right now, the Raiders would be selling low, which makes no sense to me. It honestly baffles me that the team is even considering this. Whoever gets Mayer is getting a steal. A fourth-round pick for a guy who could be the best tight end from his draft class. That's crazy. He's a great receiver, a solid blocker, and when we drafted him in the second round, it felt like a major win. So why did the Raiders turn around and draft another tight end the very next year? I won't complain, because Brock Bowers is the real deal, but I just don't get why the team can't keep both. What do you guys think? Should the Raiders hold on to Mayer, or is trading him the right move? Let me know in the comments. I mean, why not just keep Michael Mayer and pair him up with Brock Bowers? Imagine those two dominating the league. Kind of like what Gronk and Aaron Hernandez were doing back in the day. Well, until, Hernandez went off the rails. Honestly, I'm just confused by this move. If it were up to me, I wouldn't trade Mayer at all. But I get it. Maybe the team doesn't feel like they need another big-time tight end. And when you've got a guy like Brock Bowers, maybe it doesn't even matter. Now, let's switch gears. There's a player I've been talking about all off-season, and I won't lie, I'm getting tired of it. But here we are again. Yep, I'm talking about Sam Darnold. Breaking news from Ian Rappaport. The Vikings will not be tagging Darnold, but both sides are still trying to work out a deal. If nothing gets done by March 12th, he'll hit free agency. And that leaves one big question. Will the Raiders go after him? We all know the Raiders have been linked to Darnold for weeks, especially with all the cap space and the need for a quarterback. But you guys know how I feel about this. I don't want Darnold as our QB. If we're spending money, I'd rather go for Justin Fields in free agency. And if that doesn't happen, I'd rather get an experienced veteran like Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers as a bridge QB instead of throwing money at Darnold. March 12th is the date to watch. If the Vikings don't re-sign him, I have a feeling the Raiders will try to pounce. And knowing Darnold, he'll make the most of whatever opportunity comes his way. I just hope the Vikings get a deal done so we don't have to worry about it at all. What do you guys think? Should the Raiders go after Darnold? Or is there a better option out there? Let me know in the comments. Look, there are way better options for the Raiders. We don't need to waste $40 million per year on Sam Darnold. Yeah, I'm good on that. But what do you guys think, Raider Nation? Let me know in the comments. Type Y for yes and N for no. Quick timeout. First off, yes, I know I'm not at home right now. I'm actually at my parents' house. But hey, don't let the background distract you. That's besides the point. Now, let's talk about something that's been going viral all over Raider Nation today. Shout out to Max Crosby and the Rush podcast. You guys already know I've been getting roasted for my take on Aaron Rodgers, but it looks like Big Max might feel the same way. Here's what he said. A first-year return from an Achilles injury is one of the hardest things to do. We saw it with Kirk Cousins, and it happened with Aaron Rodgers. He struggled early, but he got better as the season went on. People are saying Rodgers should retire, that the Jets might cut him, but I think he's going to come back strong. I know he's 41, but I think he's going to have a big year. And honestly, I hope it happens in our town. Whoa. Now don't come at me, I'm just putting it out there. You guys know how I feel about Rodgers. I wouldn't mind seeing him in Las Vegas. And now, hearing Max Crosby say this, maybe Rodgers has something to prove in 2025. Could he really ball out in Vegas? What do you guys think? Is Max Crosby right? Or is he crazy? Let me know in the comments. Najee Harris to the Raiders. Reports are heating up about Najee Harris possibly landing with the Las Vegas Raiders. According to Nick Farabaugh, the Raiders keep coming up as a team to watch in free agency. Harris has several suitors, but Vegas has been mentioned a lot in discussions about his next landing spot. And honestly, I'm not that high on Najee Harris. Look, I know he's the only RB in the NFL to rush for 1,000 plus yards in 4 straight seasons, but when I watch him, I just don't see it. He's not explosive, he doesn't change games, and for a guy his size, he goes down too easily. You'd expect him to run like Derrick Henry, but he doesn't. Yeah, he ran all over us last season. Over 100 yards, 7.6 yards per carry, and a touchdown. But let's be real. He was playing the Raiders. That's not saying much. Now, I won't lie. He's still young, and maybe a change of scenery could bring out the best in him. The Raiders do need a running back, and at a market value of around $9.2 million, he's affordable. But would I want to spend it on Harris? Nope. Not at all. I don't even know how he keeps hitting 1,000 yards every season. His 3.9 YPC average tells me he's more of a high-volume grinder than a big play threat. And in an offense that needs explosiveness, I just don't think he's the right fit. And look, I've drafted Najee in fantasy every single year, only for him to let me down every single year. I know fantasy isn't real football, but I watch him closely, and he just doesn't have that breakaway ability. What do you guys think? Would you take Najee Harris in Vegas, or should the Raiders look elsewhere? Let me know in the comments. Should the Raiders draft a RB instead? If I'm putting on my GM hat, I'd rather draft a running back than pay for Najee Harris. Why? Because it's cheaper, and honestly, this draft class is loaded with talent. You've got guys like Ashton Jeanty, Omarion Hampton, Tre'Veyon Henderson, Caleb Johnson, and Cam Skattebo. All of them bring something fresh and could give us more production than Harris at a fraction of the cost. Now, if the Raiders did sign Najee, I wouldn't be furious. I just wouldn't love it. If he somehow turned his career around and started running like Derrick Henry because he's got the size and build for it, then yeah, it'd be a win-win for us. But let's be real, he just hasn't shown it yet. His longest career run is 39 yards. That's it. For a 1-repeat, that's not exactly game-breaking. So, what do you think, Raider Nation? Would you pay for Najee Harris? Or would you rather draft a young star to be the future running back of the Silver and Black? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And with that, until the next video, this is your boy S. More Raider, and I'm out.